It's time for Credit Puppet!
Thank you, and welcome to the third installment of Credit Puppet.
Episodes, CP, we call them episodes.
Well, credit installment, it's just financial terms. I can't get over it. What can I say? Anyway, don't we have a great audience?
We sure do.
Good
Credit
people,
Puppet.
good people, good people.
What kind of people do you like, CP?
Ones with short fingernails.
I bet you do.
I'm sensitive.
Well, CP, the topic of today's show is we're going to go a little bit more in depth into credit scoring now for our audience.
Okay.
And over the next 5 episodes that we're going to do, we're going to go over the 5 categories of credit scoring. And the one we're going to focus on today is the biggie, the main one in credit scoring. It represents 35% of your credit score.
Okay.
And it's basically called payment history.
Ooh, a history lesson.
That's right, and it's simply what it says. Your credit score looks at how you've paid your bill in the past, and
Hopefully on
all
time.
over your credit report you can see how you paid your bill in the past, and of course that's going to reflect on your credit score. We talked a lot about credit scores on last episode's show.
Yeah.
You know,
750.
that's where we're headed. CP,
Yeah.
you know I've been doing this for quite some time, and
Yeah,
it's amazing to me how many people that I've consulted with that really don't put the two together, how I pay my bills and why people are not giving me credit in the future. But they're so tied together. Remember, 35% of your credit score comes from how you paid your bills.
Well, that makes sense.
It has the largest impact on your credit score. And it does make sense, but a lot of people don't tie those two together. Now, CP, let me ask you a question.
Okay, shoot.
Let's say me and you work together.
Rusty,
Yes.
we do work together.
Okay, we work together.
All right, that's not hard to figure out.
Payday comes along and I'm a little short on money, and I
Yeah.
come up to you and ask you if you can lend me $20 to help get me through till next payday.
Sure.
You're going to say yes to me? Great.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah.
good friend, CP.
I know
Now,
where you
next payday rolls around
live.
and I'm nowhere to be found. I get my paycheck and I'm gone. I don't give you the $20 I owe you. You're
That's
calling me
not
and I
good.
don't pick up my phone.
That's kind of rude.
That's right. Next payday rolls again and maybe the same thing happens. Eventually, I'll finally get you that $20 and I'll pay you back after you chase me down, a bunch of phone calls, so on and so forth. That's not right, is it, CP?
That's my money.
That's right. Now, let's say a couple months later I come back to you again. CP, I'm a little short on money. Can you loan me $20? Now what are you going to tell me?
How about no way, Rusty?
Exactly. And that's exactly what credit bureaus and lenders are saying to you as well. If you're missing payments in the future
Yeah.
and you're asking a bank to give you a loan today, they're going to pull your credit report, look at your credit score, look at your credit history, and see how you've paid people in the past. And if you haven't been paying your bills back the way you agreed with your creditors prior, you're probably not going to get a loan in the future.
No
Does that
way.
make sense to you, CP?
It makes good sense.
Absolutely.
And by the way, don't ask me for any money.
Well, you probably don't have any, so I'm not going to ask you for any.
Yeah. You've seen
Another
my
thing to
paycheck.
think about when we're talking about credit history is people that are paying their bills on time, like we say, tend to have higher credit scores.
Yeah.
And people with higher credit scores are going to get the loans that they're looking for from the bank, the auto dealer, and the mortgage brokers. But the other thing that's great is when we have a high credit score, that's 750 or above that we're trying to get our audience to go to, you're also going to get better deals,
Good
lower
deals,
interest
sounds good.
rates on those loans.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So if your credit score, let's say you're under that 750, maybe we're between 700 and 750.
Okay.
You may be able to get a loan from a bank, an auto dealer, or a mortgage broker, but you're probably going to pay a little bit more money for that loan,
Okay.
typically in a higher interest rate. So let's say I go get a mortgage, CP, and I'm 750 or above, and right now a great mortgage rate is right around 5%. You're about 700. You get a mortgage as well, but they're not going to give you that 5% interest rate.
What are they going to give me?
You may be 5.5, 6, 6.5. It really all depends on the market. But the difference between my 5% and your 6 or 6.5% is going to be thousands and thousands of dollars over the course of that 3-year mortgage.
I don't want
That's
that.
another reason why we're trying to get people to understand credit scores, raise those credit scores up,
Raise 'em
because
up.
it's gonna save you money in the long run.
Big money.
Another thing that we like to talk about when we're talking about this category, 30% of payment history, is let people know that if you've missed some payments in the past and you have some bad credit history on your credit reports, it doesn't mean that that's going to follow you around for the rest of your life.
Ooh, that's good.
Most bad things, with a few exceptions, stay on your credit report for 7 years. The older they get on your credit report, the less negative impact they have on your credit scores.
That's good.
So CP, let's say you had a collection on your credit report and it's 5 years old.
Okay.
But since then you've been doing real good. You've been paying your bills.
That's right. On time.
On time.
Woohoo.
Don't worry so much about that 5-year-old collection, because is it hurting you a little bit, but not as bad as if you were to miss a credit card payment today.
Oh.
If you were to miss a
Okay.
credit card payment
Yeah.
today and have a 30-day late, that's going to drop your score big time, because
Ooh.
it just happened and it's very new. So we need to remember that the late pay that we have today is going to hurt a lot more than a late pay or a charge-off or a collection that we had several years ago. That's the great thing about credit scoring and the way it was designed. So the mistakes that you did when you were younger don't follow you around for the rest of your life. So
Okay.
focus on, from this point forward, paying our bills the right way, the way we agreed with our lender,
Yeah.
and we're going to see our credit scores go up and stay up.
Oh, that's good. Up is
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Now, let's say you pulled your credit report and you want to know, where do I look to find what my credit history is? On your credit report, you're going to have all your accounts listed. In the
Okay.
industry, we call each account a trade line. So account or trade line, look on that account, and you want to look for a line that says either account status or payment status.
I see it right here on mine. Right here.
Beautiful, you got your credit report, I
Yeah,
love it. So look next to that line, and what
Okay.
you want to see is paid as agreed. When you
Got
see
it.
that, you know that you've paid your lender back the way that you both agreed to when you signed on the dotted line,
good.
and that's a good trade line.
I'm good.
Now, if you look next to that line and you see something like 30-day late, 60-day late, 90-day late, that's when things get really bad, folks. 120 days late,
Yikes.
150 days late,
Oops.
eventually it becomes a charge-off, which is bad.
Sounds
It then
bad.
gets sold to a collection agency, and then you have a collection on your credit report. And sometimes you may see something that's called account settled for less than agreed. These all are going to reflect that you did not pay that loan back the way it was agreed, and it's going to hurt you in the future.
You're not going to get $20 from them.
Absolutely. And another thing you want to look on your credit report is a section that will be separate from your trade lines in your accounts called public records. There you will see
Okay.
things that are negative as well, like bankruptcy, judgments, and liens.
Ooh, those don't sound good.
No, and bankruptcy is the worst thing on your credit report, and it's a legal remedy that people find when their debts get so bad and they know they can't pay them back. They go to court and seek legal help to wipe out those debts. But of course, it's really going to hurt your credit score, and your lenders are going to be wary of you for a couple of years before they want to lend you again. A judgment is simply when you owe somebody some money and they try to collect it from you and they're not having any luck. They can go to court and get a judgment against you, and now the legal system has said, yes, CP or whoever it is, you owe this creditor money, and it gives them more abilities to collect using the legal system.
Oh, okay.
Also, another one is called liens, and a lien, the most common lien is a tax lien. You don't pay your taxes, it's going to show up eventually on a credit report in the form of a lien, and
Uncle
those
Sam will
liens can
get ya.
hurt you. They certainly will.
Woo-hoo.
They certainly
Yeah.
will.
Not
So,
me though, not me.
in review, remember, payment history is the biggest thing on your credit report. 35% of your credit score. Make
Pay
sure you
your
pay your
bills
bills
on
on time. That way you'll have a good credit score, you'll pay less for your loans, and everything will be rosy.
Hunky dory.
CP, let's wrap up this episode. What do you say?
Okay. Once again, thank you for coming to see our Credit Puppet show. And we want you to go to www.creditpuppet.blogspot.com for any other questions. And we'll see you next time on
Credit credit puppet.
Wow, I never knew that about all that lending stuff.
You're gonna learn this stuff, CP.
You're such a